I ain't like Bret Hart, bro.
You're wilding. Yeah, me neither. You're wilding. You're both wilding. Nah, y'all wilding.
Welcome to Talks About It with Franjez. We're here with Navi Da Prophet. And it's a long name.
Yeah, we just gonna say Carlito because your favorite fighter, you know, is
from Yonkers, New York.
From Yonkers, New York.
That's the whole one. Watch out. Thank you. So yeah, let's continue this wrestling talk. Yo. Ric Flair's the GOAT. Do we all agree? Do we all agree?
Yes.
Nah. Perfect.
Nah,
we can move on now.
Nah, I don't agree.
Who is?
I don't agree.
Rocky Maivia?
Nah, I don't agree.
No, we're gonna say Undertaker.
Look, look, the Undertaker. We could say Undertaker. But
nothing compared.
But but I'm gonna say this. I'm telling you, like. When it comes to anything I considered wrestling art too. Like wrestling is art
100%.
Too. So
absolutely,
if you
it's like performing arts.
Okay. So so perfect.
Talk
so
about
now
it.
that you agree with that, we're talking about art. There's nothing wrong with flopping and falling on your face considered to be art. Ric Flair does that all the time. I want to say that his chop might be the art form of what he has and his clothes and when he comes in, his swag and how he speaks. Right. That's his art form. But as far as his wrestling, his technique, it's not better than Bret the Hitman fucking Hart. Absolutely not. And that's nowhere near Mr. Perfect's wrestling. Like, their wrestling literally by far is almost top tier over every damn wrestler that's ever lived. Like, seriously, like, I'm talking about technique wise. Their wrestling technique is subpar. We talk Eddie Guerrero, those guys too, like him, even Chris Benoit.
I was just gonna mention him too.
Like those guys too. Like, we talking about technique.
I can't believe you're not putting Ric Flair into technique category.
No. Like I said, we're talking about art. I said
he's technical and he's an artist.
But how is he technical? In what way? Tell me. Don't tell me this fucking figure four leg lock is technical. Because it's not.
Listen, you know, technique
it's not
goes in different directions.
It actually very much is. It's probably the most technical submission in the whole thing.
But that's why there's no name luchas doing that shit on the side of the ropes, bro, upside down. It's not technical. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
His technique is
it's only his swag is what makes him fucking extravagant. No. And the way he talks on the mic is, I'm gonna tell you right now. The way he talks on the mic, there's no, like, he's the top. He's like one of the top. The way he talks, as far as his mic skills, he's one of the top. I'm telling you right now, like,
you know what though? I wasn't ever even a fan of the jibber jabber. I'm a fan of how he is in the ring.
Nah.
He is a perfectionist.
You think so?
I don't know if you've noticed. Well, you must have noticed because you don't like him. Every one of his matches are the same.
But that's worse.
Have you ever seen him successful off of the top rope?
No.
It's technique. That's his technique.
But that's but my point. That's just the way he is as a wrestler. But that's not good technique. We're talking about personifying wrestling.
Notch.
Listen, we're talking about personifying wrestling.
Yeah.
You have to, in order to personify wrestling, you have to get the fuck off that top rope and succeed. You can't just fucking. You have to learn how to do everything.
Part of his show is letting his opponent shine. Come on. This guy's a poet.
God.
This guy's a poet out there.
But that doesn't make him the best, though.
Well, to me,
that just makes him one of the best.
Ricky!
More like Ricky Steamboat.
God, that was a classic.
More like Ricky Steamboat.
That was a classic.
You say he's better than Ric Flair?
Of course. You fucking crazy. Wrestling wise?
Yo, let's change the topic.
Wrestling. Okay, you guys are not watching. You guys haven't watched wrestling then.
No.
Wrestling wise, Ricky Steamboat bro, Ricky Steamboat is still teaching a wrestling school to this day. To this day, he's still teaching a wrestling school. He's running a wrestling school to this day.
I remember when he fought.
He's still in better shape than Ric Flair.
Remember Tito Santana?
Tito Santana, he was great too, but he wasn't as, and he was a technical fighter as well. But again, if you watch, there's technical wrestling. Literally, you can type on YouTube the most technical wrestling matches, you're never gonna see Ric Flair in either one of them. But you're gonna see Bret Hart, you're gonna see Owen Hart, you're gonna see Chris Benoit, you're gonna see Eddie Guerrero, you're gonna see Mr. Perfect, you're gonna see Ravishing Rick Rude, you're gonna see Jake the Snake.
Now you're gonna see it.
You're gonna see it. I'm telling you. Like you see there's other guys like Ultimate Warrior, right? We liked him because his theatrics, the way he came in the ring, his energy, it was unmatched. Coming in the ring, his music combined with his energy, you couldn't match it, right? And along with his face paint, not a lot of guys were doing the face paint, right? So not a lot of the guys were doing the face paint, especially with the colors, with the tassels and everything. And then long and behold, come to find out, he was doing that shit himself, you know? So imagine he took hours and, you know, into creating all these costumes and everything. So did Ravishing Rick Rude. Like sometimes he would, you know, like, I don't know if you remember it, he would get airbrush on his tights, his opponent's face and shit like that.
You know what comes up? I got a lot because you said, look good, YouTube it. Chris Benoit came up.
See, I said that already.
Who else? Macho Man, Bret Hart.
Come on.
Macho Man.
Macho Man.
If Macho Man's on that list, Ric Flair's on that list.
No. But Macho Man in his early time, it was more technical than anything. And then later on, it became more about the theatrics. Yeah, is what I'm saying. Like, 100%. And it became more about drama filled. And then later on, when it was, remember, he got into NWO and it was really like theatrical. Man. It was, everything was like all for looks. Everybody was super roided out. Like, everybody was just insane at that time. Yeah. But it was a fun time. But as I said, if you look up these wrestlers, bro, I'm telling you, I've always been a huge fan, and I've always like rewatched certain wrestling matches because I knew it did something to me. Like I knew it wasn't something just regular about it. You know, it's not just flopping, and then most of the matches are the announcers talking too, like and making jokes about the fight when it's not really that serious.
One that's classic, that's always down in history, in the history books, is when Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels fought in a ladder match.
Who was it?
Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
I think I remember that, but vaguely.
That was classic. That's
one of the that's one classic.
That was the Intercontinental.
Wait, you saying that's one of your favorite?
That's one guy. Yeah, I think that's one of my favorites.
That was a good one.
What was one of your favorite matches you could remember? Maybe because I mean we're talking about old stuff like here. Wow. We're not talking about new stuff. Obviously, clearly. I can remember maybe an entrance that captivated you.
You know what? If I were asked on the spot without thinking, I would have first said the Iron Man match. What was it? Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
And that was actually the first Iron Man match I watched. And then I went back and watched the previous one that went down.
That was huge.
And then the other one that I thought of was the I don't remember. Forget that one. It was some Cactus Jack. Like barbed wire match. It was crazy. It was like in Japan. Yeah, but I can't remember exactly. It was like on some DVD.
Like crazy,
that one I remember.
Crazy bloody.
Yeah, that one I remember because it was the first time I saw the explosions, the barbed wire, the fire,
all the popping
the
shit,
staplers. Like they used everything. They
went all out.
The light bulbs. Yeah, lit themselves on fire. Lights. Oh my man, Cactus Jack and what's the guy that he used to always fight? The real old guy that just didn't stop.
Terry Funk.
Terry Funk. Oh my God.
Terry, you know my brain.
Oh my God. Terry. Of course.
Match.
Terry Funk was the king of hardcore apparently at the time. Yeah, like and
it was a death match between them.
And
it's
Japan. Crazy that
was insane.
Absolutely. And somebody mentioned how Terry Funk, you know, that he went and he like I don't want to say dominated, wrestling for the most part, but
he was the king of hardcore. That's what they called him.
He fought in basically, a wrestlers. MJF from AEW mentioned that he went and he fought on every other organization. Like after he kind of like fought all the top stars, you know what I'm saying? That he made his name substandard in wrestling, and that's true. He fought to what, 80?
A lot of these wrestlers. Let me tell you something though. Let me tell you something too that you probably don't know. A lot of these wrestlers that we've idolized are still fighting today. They're still wrestling today.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're wrestling in these small indie circuits that are paying them way more than they've ever gotten paid in these big arenas. And they're getting paid, and they're fighting in like 50, like a crowd of 50, 60 people. I swear to you. And they're getting paid more than they were getting paid from back then.
That's
I swear to you. And that they're old as fucking mummy dust. I'm telling you. I saw a fight with one of the bush, because one of the bushwhackers. Remember the bushwhackers?
Yeah,
one of them died. So I saw a fight with one of them, the other one that's still alive in Australia. And I kid you not, it looks like it was in a high school gym. But he had his.
But you say, but how you know they're getting paid more than what they used to get? That's
because
crazy.
they talk about it a lot in actual podcasts and stuff like that. They talk about
that's
it.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, but it's not. When you think about
that was like on TV. That was big money. That was big budget.
Well, well, see, like Vince McMahon, he was a fucking, he was crazy. But in the 2000s, I would say in the 2000s, different. I'm talking about way before then. Nah, they weren't making like crazy money. Depending on who you were, you had to be like a main card. Only the main cards really made thousands of dollars.
And it was also off the merchandise,
right?
You had to be
everything mattered in that sense. But remember, even back then, the money was different. Even as far as merchandising and making money and connecting it with the wrestler was different. You would know that majority of the time you would see like. Probably the Wrestling Federation would get most of that money when you think about it, because it was only building that federation. Remember, at the time of the federation, they were building and building more. All the revenue, I'm sure, was going to that shit, like all the revenue. But it was nothing bigger than at that time. And talking about Hart, like, remember Owen Hart, when Owen Hart died in the ring? That was crazy. I don't know if anybody watched that fight, but
that jump was live.
It's crazy. It was watching that.
Sadly, it was live.
It was crazy.
It was live.
Pay-per-view live. I think it was SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. Yep. SummerSlam. It was
SummerSlam pay-per-view live.
And the wrestling kept going. They didn't stop it. They
No, they definitely stopped and cleaned up.
They stopped it. No, they stopped. Yo, that's crazy. But they did. But they stopped it. And they went to commercial, like, or whatever, like. And then
but they didn't cancel the show?
Nope.
No, they didn't cancel.
Kept it moving.
No, because that's Vince McMahon.
He jumped off that. And
Vince McMahon is not canceling.
Wrestling.
Vince McMahon is about money. Like, he's not canceling no fucking show. One of my memories, you're talking about SummerSlam, though? One of my favorite memories of SummerSlam, Caesar's Palace with the Legion of Doom. They came in. This was the first time motherfuckers... First of all, this arena was outside. Yeah. Okay? This was outside. They had like columns to make it look like it was like a coliseum.
Yeah.
So the Legion of Doom came out. You know how they come out on the spike shoulder pads?
Hell yeah.
Never. The first time ever, they came on the fucking Harley Davidsons, and their shoulder pads were chrome. They weren't even red. They were just all chrome with the black spikes. Yo, that shit... Yo, I had chills. I remember as a kid, I was standing up on my grandfather's bed, like just like, yo, I was wilding, yo. But I was like, yo, that was the craziest shit I like. As far as entrance, that was one of the most like craziest entrances I ever seen.
Yeah, I think that same one you're talking about. I think Macho Man came out on the camel with Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, but you see, like they used to come out like on a camel. Yo, but they used to always come out on stupid shit like that in the 80s. Like, remember in the 80s, they used to come out in a little ring.
On a floating joint.
On a little floating joint. Like, but you know, one of the reasons why they said they stopped doing that shit was, first of all, not just from malfunction, but sometimes, like, obviously, if they have heels, like enemies in the wrestling, like whatever, the crowd, they will get serious. Like, they didn't like them. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that shit is rolling mad slow. And motherfuckers just throwing everything at the wrestlers, like just hitting them with full cups of soda, like all types of shit. And that shit's moving mad slow.
It probably gets jammed in the wheels too. All the cups and garbage.
Yo, and they used to fuck. And you always imagine, like, you got all this insurance on wrestlers supposed to be protecting them. You got fucking food thrown at them and shit, like they're clowns at a comedy show after they just finished wrestling, like sweaty and shit. They getting soda thrown on them, hot dogs and glizzies and shit thrown on them. Yeah, that shit is crazy.
Oh, Lord,
that's just crazy.
Oh my God,
that makes sense. And the Titantron was elevated, so they didn't walk. They didn't walk past too many people.
Nah.
Towards the front, they got towards the expensive
right
seats. So
yeah,
it's classic people in the front.
Yo, they can fucking grab you and yank you.
Yeah, that's
how close that shit.
Yeah, lied. Did not lie.
Nah, that one thing I guess you could say about wrestling, and at that time it kept your imagination alive because everybody really thought it was real. Like, I guess at that time, before the whole incident that it came out in the news that it was fake because of what happened, and these knuckleheads chilling together.
I think we all knew it was fake, though.
No, when we were children, we didn't think that shit was fake.
The imagination was still there. Like
What? I'm talking about when we were playing with the toys, bro. Like when we were like 8, bro, we wasn't thinking wrestling was.
I feel like I always knew it was
there's
just.
no way.
That's not a real
Bro,
fight.
there's no way. There's no way. You wasn't no 7 years old thinking like wrestling was
don't
fake.
know.
Bro, there was blood and all types of shit. We thought that shit was real. If that's the case, then you
Well,
thought
it was real blood, but we knew they cut themselves. I
not
feel
at
like I
no
always
7
knew.
years old, bro.
I feel like I
We
always
didn't-
knew.
You didn't know that, bro.
Like you
Franjez,
just,
you were 17 saying that. Then, bro. It's not 7. 7. You wasn't even thinking about how they were doing that. How'd you even think about how they were cutting themselves? Like we weren't thinking about that. We were just like thinking like, oh shit, he busted his head open because the announcer would say it. Oh my god, he busted his head open, and we would think like, oh my god, he punched him in his head.
yeah, and they're really bleeding, but yeah, it's because they cut themselves.
But
But it was real blood. I knew it was real blood, but you could just tell it's not a real fight. I don't know. I don't know what age it clicked for me, but I feel like I always knew, had a hunch. Like, I know it's acting.
I'm saying it because if you had an imagination and you were following the storylines behind the fights, those fights to you was real.
Oh, hell yeah, of course I know what you
some of
mean.
those storylines lasted years.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
enemies, some of these heels and these guys, these rivalries lasted fucking years. And when you do watch like the program like Beyond the Ring, Dark Side of the Ring. When you do watch that shit, you get to find out that a lot of that shit was actually real. A lot of the shit in backstage turned out to be real, but we just didn't know what the we didn't know what was going on.
We don't know what's real and what's fake.
A lot of stuff was swept under the rug, and we had no idea. So again, like a lot of stuff was fake, yes, but then you get to see like a lot of stuff was not as fake as it should have been. Actually, it should have been fake. Like,
yo, what's your favorite entrance?
You ever see?
Like how you said that
The Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom, again, that was one that was up there in top of the charts as classic. Undertaker, because he was diversity different in like all different attire. He had different phases of himself. Different phases, different phases of
the
him.
short hair. Got the Sarah tattoo era.
No, but remember he was American Badass.
Yeah,
and he was an Undertaker.
Yeah, when he cut the hair, American Badass.
And you know what's crazy to piggyback off what Navi's saying about like how he brought up the Dark Side of the Ring, how it showed you a cue of what wrestling, how they hit some stuff, and it's so crazy. I ain't gonna lie, this dude, I gotta give it to this dude, New Jack. Was by far one of the most.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yo,
he's one of my favorites.
I'm stuttering because he was
about
like
it.
nuts.
He was about
He
it.
was like,
Yes, sir.
the one where he fought Balls Mahoney and he threw him off the scaffolding. This dude almost
without hesitation.
Yeah, no.
He almost landed outside the ring.
No hesitation. You could see like it was just like an all.
It was a goal, and he reached his goal, and he loved it.
He was
and
like,
he'll
I
jump
got him.
right off.
Yeah.
Right behind him.
Yeah.
Because you gotta watch. Yo, he is bizarre. God rest his soul.
R.I.P.
Yo,
R.I.P. Absolutely.
he was ECW for real.
Oh man,
He was ECW. I ain't gonna lie, I think he surpasses Cactus Jack, yo. I think he do.
Well, he didn't have as many matches as Cactus Jack.
He may not have,
though.
but his
because
extreme level,
remember, like even Cactus Jack was 3 guys, like right. Technically, you're talking about Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love. Like those, you can't compare. Like he had so many insane matches from here to Japan.
Yeah,
insane.
He did lose an ear. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was top notch.
He broke every bone in his body.
This dude.
What you mean?
His nigga was blinded.
He broke every bone in his body. I think he's like Evil Knievel right now.
If that was a fantasy match I would like to
amazing.
see, it would definitely have been New Jack and Cactus Jack. I ain't gonna lie.
Wow.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's a hardcore matchup right there.
That is blood on audience.
Sabu was one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, Sabu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
I got some. Okay, yeah, I like it.
Yo,
Yeah.
I forgot his saying, but he had some. He had like the
genocidal, suicidal, homicidal. Yeah, hell yeah, I remember.
Yeah, yes. You remember when the backyard wrestling started? You remember around that time when it started, and they were only like selling it on bootleg DVDs at one point in time.
I never watched backyard wrestling.
That was brutal, and they showed people breaking their arms and stuff.
Yeah, like at one point, it would be on the internet, but then it was selling. Then it was somebody somehow was selling these things on bootleg DVDs, and it was funny because even, I started seeing people I know that started like dabbling with backyard wrestling. And I was like, this shit's not gonna make it that long. And then all of a sudden, the video game came out, backyard wrestling video game.
Yeah, and they had Insane Clown Posse.
The Insane Clown Posse, a whole bunch of shit was on there. I was like, oh shit, they really trying to like push it, like But then it didn't go that long. But
it didn't. It
didn't go that long.
It didn't.
Gladly though, because kids, they get. That's how you easily get the kids involved, like at a young age. Saying that it's okay to just fuck it. Let me just jump off my mom's roof and shit on the table.
That's how Mick Foley started.
Yeah. But
dude love jumping off the roof.
Unfortunately, like now it's becoming more acting than anything on wrestling, because from what I'm hearing, they're about to start adding it onto FanDuel, and I'm like, once you add anything onto FanDuel, you're like, come on, bro. What do you mean bet on?
They're trying to rob stupid people.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. What? So they're about to put WWE on FanDuel. So now I'm really just like kind of disappointed in that sense about it, because I'm just like, all right, now they're obviously doing they might be doing crazy matches like on purpose just to fuck with people's bets and whatever like that. You know what I mean? It's just like
yeah, it's a fixed match.
Yeah, it's already a fixed match, but it's just like it's gonna be even more, I think, like out of just out of.
Well, at the end of the day, it's a gamble.
Yeah. But what's crazy though? Like
50% chance.
The back era, like the attitude era, as we might say. For some people who might know.
That's what I looked up so we could talk about.
See, I'm on point. The attitude era. You never knew what would happen. It was a surprise, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You never knew which was what kept the hype, what kept the adrenaline rush, the excitement in it. And a lot of people would agree with me. But now it's like, what keeps the exciting of it now, I want to say, is just the different matchups. Like the different, like, the wrestler that never came from this, like Sting. When he came over to WWE and he fought Triple H, and they was trying to make Sting fight Undertaker, and that never seemed to happen. But they did. I gotta laugh when they did Goldberg versus Undertaker. That shit was garbage. He couldn't even jackhammer Undertaker. Yo,
he was too tall.
And then they did the Brothers of Destruction versus DX. And shit, yo, it's a commodity. Funny because they can't, because when you're not able to go and give it and give your all, you know what I'm saying, and give that 100%, and it's only like 30, the match doesn't become so high grade as it is.
Definitely,
yeah.
It becomes just like, it's funny. Like you see the mistakes, the errors that comes to be. You're like, damn, he already. At his climax of his age where he can't perform to the level that he once did when he was younger. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, it becomes like a comedy. It kind of already is, but it becomes more of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang. But that's what seems to happen when you wait so long to put these matches together, or when one wrestler decides to come over. And it'd be all about the money thing, at the end of the day,
Of course, always about the money.
The WWE now compared to just even in the early 2000s could never just be around during this time when you think about it, because it was so much offensive language.
The whole company would have got canceled.
The whole company, the whole show, the whole fucking
canceled. Everybody's going to jail.
It would have been canceled, like, because of how sensitive this era is.
No, you're right. I agree with you. You absolutely.
There was so much racial jokes, everything like racist
they
jokes.
Men were literally punching women in the face, slamming women,
slamming them like
they can't fly today.
Remember when Moolah? Remember when they what this guy did to Moolah?
He stunned her.
When did Stone Cold stun her?
I think.
Oh my god, I forgot, that shit's
they 3D'd her. They powerbomb.
There was guys touching girls' asses, all types of shit. Remember the type of matches they used to have? They used to have lingerie matches. They used to have crazy shit. Like they used to. I remember there was an episode where Edge was literally having sex with Trish in the ring. Like, there's literally while there's a whole crowd and everything, and they're supposed to be looking like they're having sex in the ring. There's a bed, and they're under the.
Was it a sex match?
They're under not even. They're just. It's weird. That's what I'm saying. Like with Lita or whatever. I said Trish. I said Lita. My bad. With Lita, right?
That's crazy.
And they were like in red silk, sheets or whatever, and they're on the bed, and then you could see literally she's taking off her clothes. She's throwing the clothes off. And everything. I'm like, yo, what is like?
Just pushing the limit. Just pushing the envelope.
I'm just saying the whole front row is full of kids. The whole front row. And then all of a sudden, Lita's bra is just out, like just frisbeeing out to the front row. There's mad children, babies and shit. Bra on top of the baby's head.
It's crazy because when you think about it now, you're like, yo, what the?
Yeah, it was extreme.
And then now it's just real, like they cradle that shit now.
Yeah, but then they're gonna go back on like the type of matches they had. They had the first blood match. They don't even do that no more.
Nah, they don't. That's what I'm saying. It's too. It's too because you're gonna have to some people today. It's too violent, and obviously it might be the ones that are paying for the most tickets, for the most money for the tickets, is going to be the LGBT community in the front row. They're going to be like, listen to me, this is way too much right now.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like, it's the truth, though.
Because who used to bleed a lot and he used to give that joint up.
They pay a lot.
They pay a lot. Busted up. And I think it was the first blood match. Quote me wrong, between him and I think it was like Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah. He was gushing crazy.
Yo, he looked like a red apple.
He was gushing crazy. That I don't know.
Yo,
that match was crazy. No. Remember he was fighting Bret Hart one time.
Oh, he was busted. He had him in the sharpshooter.
Bret Hart had
the blood was in his teeth.
Yo, Bret Hart had him in the sharpshooter while my man was busted open crazy. He was screaming crazy. But I know if anybody knows what the sharpshooter is, if you ever been in a sharpshooter, that shit hurts. That shit hurts. Have you ever been in a sharpshooter? That's what I'm saying too. Like, if we're gonna talk about wrestlers too, we gotta talk about their moves. Their moves have to be effective too. Like, come on, they have to be really, really, really effective. Like,
yo, that sharpshooter with Stone Cold bleeding, that was one where Ken Shamrock was the referee, and then Stone Cold passed out, so it wasn't technically him.
Yeah.
Like tapping out.
Yeah, tapping out.
That was that technicality with that one.
Yeah, yo, he's on point. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
But yeah, functionality. I know exactly what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, this is crazy. I don't know if I should tell these stories right now.
Go ahead.
Yo,
get crazy.
2 times I used to be a real fan of wrestling in elementary school. I heard two kids. There's one kid, I did the rock bottom on him in the gym. His head bounced off the floor. He couldn't get up.
That's crazy.
Ambulance came, took him out in a wheelchair. And then this other kid, I did the reverse DDT in the basement.
Fire.
In the basement floor.
Fire.
Yo.
Fire.
I don't even want to say these people's names, yo.
Nah, fire.
My man was mumbling on the floor.
Ooh-wee.
I'm dragging him to the classroom by his feet.
Damn. Oh, nah. You were committing murder, bro. Forget about it. I was laughing at first, but now you committing a fucking murder.
Miss Blank! Miss Blank!
Yo, that's crazy.
Yo, come call somebody for this kid.
Yo, when you said that was in elementary school?
The reverse DDT was 100% elementary school, and the rock bottom was junior high school.
Yo, when we was in Gorton together, that shit happened with Adrian, bro. I fucking body slammed Adrian. I broke his ankle up on the G, and the ambulance had to come in Gorton. I fucked him up bad. And then this other kid, Russell, I broke his arm on the field in Gorton.
Play wrestling?
No, we was like,
wrestling. Yeah, okay.
Like, but we would have these wrestling matches on purpose. We were like, yo, it's you versus him. Like,
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
you're not supposed to take it to break bones, though.
But I'm also not taking it lightly. Like, I'm not like.
Did he know that
I'm the fucking champ?
You were going to break bones?
I'm the fucking champ.
Yeah, look.
That ain't playing. It ain't playing no more.
I'm fucking with you. Nah. But we were still, we were just, it was just accidental, of course. But like, of course, it was accidental. Like,
too
but
much.
it would just happen because we would get into it. You know, we would really, everybody's there, like, oh shit, like, and we would act like jumping off the fence, all types of bullshit, man.
Yeah, and it goes.
Of course, it was accidental.
I remember when me and my cousin Navi, like,
I remember
we worked at Toys R Us.
I remember that time.
We used to wrestle. Like when they were delivery, it was off the hook, bro.
Yo, remember, like if you go to Toys R Us, And if you buy like a Power Wheel or a bike, you have to go around. Okay. So we would work downstairs around that area. That's where we work in the stock room. Sometimes it'd just be bored and shit. And I forget, it was mad dusty and dirty down there. Yo, oh my God. After a while, we were just having wrestling matches. Like everybody versus everybody, one-on-ones and shit. And one time we was fucking wrestling down there. Bro, I never forget. I slammed you so hard. All that dust went all over the candy. All over the... Yo, bro, that dust came from the floor. It went... Poof. It was just dirty shit. Dirty fucking.
You gotta say R.I.P. to Toys R Us because that was
fun times, bro.
That was monumental.
Shout out to Toys R Us, yo.
That was
because
monumental.
we only worked there for seasonal times. Can you imagine seasonal during like Christmas time? It was a fucking madhouse. Yeah, bro. It was a fucking madhouse, bro.
Yeah,
it was a madhouse in there, but we had a lot of fun though.
That was a childhood, like yo. That was a childhood dream.
I used to walk to that store and just daydream. Like, I wish I could just go home with everything.
Yeah, imagine like we used to work there, so we used to see all that shit. Like play on the Power Wheels downstairs, riding through the aisles and shit. The dirty ass fucking aisles. Yo, they looked like a fucking coal mine down there.
Damn.
It was fucking dusty as a motherfucker down there. And then they had like a lot of shit in cages and stuff, you know. But still was like, I was like, why don't fucking get somebody to clean this shit up, like. Open candy and shit, M&Ms and shit. Everybody would just every once in a while cut open a bag and eat. I was like, yo, dirty motherfuckers. They ate the old candy too.
But that was the deceptive of us, living, of wrestling, and having fun and having that imagination, you know what I'm saying?
And it's exercise.
It's a lot of exercise.
A lot of exercise.
I think I was like the portrayed, fugitive of the dummy getting slain.
Damn.
It was me. Now and it was a couple of, and it was these other two dudes. I think that was from.
It was a couple of dudes, man. It was a couple of dudes.
It was amazing. It was dope.
Yo, you know how Isaac Yankem became
Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you think of any other characters that it was the same person?
Besides Cactus Jack, besides Undertaker, we talked about American Badass, Undertaker,
Godfather, Papa Shango.
Even Godfather,
That's
Papa Shango.
That's a good one.
But
he was a couple of people.
He was a few. He was part of the Nation of Domination too.
Yes, he was. Yes,
he was mad.
He was 3. You want to know something crazy though? You want to know something crazy about him? You know how if you notice he didn't wrestle, like you didn't see him for years, but he's like one of the only wrestlers that has in his contract to somehow, some way still get paid like for a certain amount of years without even wrestling. Like real shit. He's like one of the only wrestlers that has some contract like that. I swear to God, like he gets like some type of $1 million a year deal, like where he doesn't fucking do anything. Like he shows up for some events. And I actually saw him on I was watching him on a podcast. He was talking about some shit like that about his contract and what he has some type of agreement with Vince. And you see what I'm saying? It must have been something that he knew about Vince or whatever like that, because there were many incidents that they had in the back, like I said. Yeah. And he was just like probably like worked out some deal that he had with him. After remember he was Papa Shango. He was that guy from Nation of Domination, right? Mm-hmm. And who else was he?
The Godfather.
The Godfather.
And the Good Father.
Oh yeah, because then he changed. Yeah.
You like 4 or 5 people, bro.
Owen Hart was the Blue Blazer.
That's when he died.
Yeah. He died into the Blue Blazer. There was a couple of guys. Wow, there was a couple of guys. Shawn Michaels wasn't always regular Shawn Mike. He wasn't. Just,
he was in that tag team.
Yeah,
what was it called?
The Rockers.
With
Marty Jannetty.
Oh my God,
that was a good tag team.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, because they were one of the first high flyers, like pretty much like tag team in the WWF at the time. They weren't a lot of those kind of guys in there, like at the time, like most of those guys were in Japan or Mexico. Like you would see those lucha guys at those times. You had to watch the Spanish channel to see somebody fucking do flips off the ropes.
Hell yeah.
I mean, off the top rope, do a backflip off the top rope. But then when they came in, it was like, oh shit, yeah, they're really doing aerials and shit.
Rey Mysterio, crazy.
Rey Mysterio, I mean, the same thing. When he came in, from fucking
Mexico.
WCW.
Yeah, but he fought in wild differently. He fought in Japan. He fought in Mexico. He fought in ECW.
Hell yeah.
Rey Mysterio. Yeah. Yes, he did. He fought in ECW. Yes, he did.
I think he was tag team partners with
Mysterio Jr.
I think he was tag team partners with Rob Van
I'm
Dam.
an RVD.
Man.
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, he was good.
He was extreme.
And I think where he messed up is when he came to the WWF. Like, is where his career started going down for some reason.
But he came from ECW. What else is he gonna do?
Yeah,
that was actually a big step up.
Yeah,
I used to wait up. I don't know how y'all used to watch ECW. I used to wait up Saturday night till like 2 a.m. I think.
Nah, my pops had the
1
black
a.m., 2
box.
a.m. It used to air like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., right? Saturday nights.
You heard my
but
pops
then some Saturdays it didn't come on.
The black box.
My pops had the black box.
It was called the Scrambler.
The Scrambler. You know what I'm saying? That illegal cable box shit. Like, that shit would have.
Maybe you still have to wait for it to air. That's what I mean.
Man, for some reason, right? I don't know.
It wasn't like DVR.
Nah, it was like it would just repeat. It was just repeat the same shit.
It would. Okay, like there was one time.
Really, ECW episode?
Yo, I had that shit.
I wish.
How long ago? I think when I moved in 2010, I think I even had it.
The same shit.
We had watching wrestling UFC, and it was coming on like back to back. I was like, oh,
it's the same old shit. Like,
yeah, like holy shit.
Wasn't anything new until the new shit came out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You
Right.
can think of anybody else that played another character?
I'm trying to think now too, like
damn, I would say
because it's like some guys, like I don't count it because it's just like I feel like they had the same like
I mean a big
look.
change
That's what I'm trying to say,
like Isaac Yankem and Kane. Those are two completely different personas.
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
I'm trying to think too. I already said the Blue Blazer. There's a couple of guys that's just not coming.
Yeah, like you can't even say like Hogan when he went to NWO because he's still Hulk Hogan.
Because Macho Man did the
he's
same shit.
He's not a different person. Yeah,
even
they got the same
Kevin
title.
Nash. Even Kevin Nash, he was Diesel.
Oh
then
yeah, Big Daddy Cool
Big Daddy
Diesel.
Cool. Then he went to come on, bro. Like, and he was like the same outfit, sort of.
But we all knew it was the same person.
It was the same guy. That's why I said there's a lot of guys you can't really like.
I think it was just Isaac Yankem. He was the biggest change. I think.
You think so?
Who else?
This guy is just like, I don't know, for some. Well, but remember, like Cactus Jack, he had like,
but same thing. We all knew.
Yeah, we all knew.
They were keeping that secret for as long as possible.
No, that's modern. That was,
I don't know.
Now we talking about back then.
Yeah. I don't know nothing about now.
So do you know how people discovered? Do you know the story how people discovered wrestling was fake? What happened? It was a specific event that happened that people discovered how.
Two enemies chilling.
Yes, do you remember that? Right?
I think I heard the story. I don't remember it all though.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
No, so it's a legit story. How? So
if you actually look this up on them.
Yes, like they tell a story and everything because you know how Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, and the Iron Sheik were enemies, and they were like, so at the time, in real life, in real time. America and Iran, you know how that beef is, whatever, like that. Obviously Iron Sheik being from Iran or whatever, and you had Hacksaw, this American hero. He'd always with the American flag, and then this guy with the. So remember, so now as they're going along and fighting these matches, they're keeping that persona. They're keeping that where they're enemies, and this guy's from this country, and this guy's from this country. So. One day they decide they fucking do hella coke, drink, and chill with each other in a convertible. And the police pull them over and see them two together, like clearly, like type shit. Or not a I don't know if it was a convertible or it was whatever, but it was in a car or whatever. Police pulled them over and was like, wait a minute. Aren't you guys like supposed to be like fighting tomorrow night? Like, against
aren't you
each other?
guys enemies?
Like, yeah. So like,
you guys smell like alcohol.
Yeah. So pretty much, they were fucking doing coke, all types of shit. So pretty much, like, if you notice, like, there was a long time that you didn't see Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You didn't see the Iron Sheik fight anymore. Like, it's just like that out of nowhere. They just kind of just like vamoosed, like out of nowhere. Like if you notice that, like an Iron Sheik, he was a great villain. Like he was He, you know, but
yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo, shout out to Iron Sheik, man, yo, because he was really he could talk
hilarious.
shit too. You may not understand him, but he ain't like
he's hilarious.
Like you, he
what? What do you mean? Right now, he's fucking hilarious.
No, I'm saying, well, yeah, okay, yeah.
What?
Yo,
he always talks. He'll talk about butt fucking you right now. The Iron Sheik is hilarious.
He is.
He's a crazy motherfucker. Like, he's crazy.
I think that was him. I think it was him. He didn't like Hulk Hogan. He would curse him out all different languages.
Like right now, like Iron Sheik. I don't know. The last couple of years, he was like going. Like he got big because he was going to the Howard Stern show. Like Howard Stern just started inviting him on.
Yeah, that's true. I did see a lot.
And
of
then
those.
people started calling and shit like that. And then he started people started messing with him, and he started wilding out, like telling people how he would go and fuck him in the ass, and I would beat your wife, and wild, man. He was like cursing and being, he's like dead serious, bro. Like dead
he was
serious.
cursing out this dude, the little midget guy. He looked like Beetlejuice or some shit.
Oh, Beetlejuice, yeah.
Iron Sheik and him was going back and forth one day on the Howard Stern show.
Crying,
that
bro.
Shit is funny.
Crying.
As ridiculously funny. Ridiculously
cracking
funny.
up, bro.
Yeah.
But a lot of these wrestlers, man, I feel bad for them because a lot of these guys, like I said, you would have thought that a lot of these wrestlers would have gotten paid. Some of them did get paid a substantial amount, but then you also do see that the road life really messed with them with drinking and drugs and partying, and it really messed up their actual home life, where they had
health.
The health, their home life. They went through divorces. They done went through fucking different injuries, all types of stuff where they had to get surgeries, and you could tell that it has affected them over the years. And so it's funny like now seeing some of our childhood superstars, I guess you would say, it's like they're actually mortal now. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, like they're actually human beings. Like you can actually see them getting old. It's like Hulk Hogan. I don't know if you know what happened to him recently. He had gotten a surgery done and on his back. And so they accidentally hit a nerve, so now he can't walk anymore. So it's like,
I saw that online. I don't know how true it was. So I just scrolled past it. I don't know how true that was.
Yeah, it's the truth. Like,
I hope it's not. That's horrible.
So it's like he can't walk, or he's like he can't walk right anymore, or whatever, some shit like that. So, but
take your vitamins, drink your milk.
I don't know about milk, but
yo, that was the most famous commercial. Eat your cereal, drink milk, and you build your strong bones.
And how much of a lie that was. That's
suspicious.
Yeah, that's a bull-faced lie. Don't ever believe that. Anybody out there don't believe that. Just eat your vegetables, and that's it. Fuck everything else.
So the best finishers, yeah, definitely water.
Drink water, eat your vegetables, and you'll live longer than Hulk Hogan. You'll live longer than anybody you could think of, probably, and probably anybody in your family, for real.
Yeah, no, you ain't lying. That's true.
That's for real.
True.
Anything that grows from, anything that's natural. When you think about it, anything that's natural that you can plug in and connect with, you can actually connect with the earth as long as you're barefooted. You stick your feet in the ground, you can connect with the earth magnetically.
Get some sun on your face, sun on your skin, sun on your eyes.
Yes.
Become one with nature.
Get some breathing techniques going.
Love.
Get some love going. And I'm telling you, going back to this wrestling shit, a lot of these guys never had spirituality. When you think about it, that's like spirituality, like what we're talking about. A lot of these guys never thought of having that and maybe keeping that on the road in order to help them stay successful and stay on the top of their game. And a lot of those superstars didn't have that. Bro. Yeah.
Drugs.
I'm saying, like, if they had
and that power juice steroid shit.
Power juice.
No, because that's what Hulk Hogan, the stories of him in the locker room trying to give it out to other wrestlers, and some of them denied it on.
Take this, brother.
Yo, for real. And look, half of them niggas is like dead, prosthetic legs, arms.
Horrible.
For real. And like you said, man, water, vitamins, and vegetables, and
yeah, man.
Yo, you were saying earlier the most and least effective finishers. Which ones you thinking about? The most effective and the least, like realistically, the most effective and the least effective.
Wow.
What about Mr. Sacco?
It depends how long.
Actually, the mandible claw.
The mandible claw, yeah.
The mandible claw. They used to knock them out.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Yeah,
that'll make somebody throw up. Maybe shoving your fingers down the throat.
Yeah, right. And imagine how
like
long
they're going to sleep.
Like how long that saga's been out, bro.
You know how uncomfortable I got to be getting some guy's fingers shoved down your throat on camera.
On camera. That's
your kids
weird.
are watching this. Like, yeah, Dad, you lost to mankind tonight, Dad.
We
all watched it.
We lost to a sock.
Nah.
He lost to a sock.
I think the most effective is like the pile driver, bro.
Most effective?
Yo, listen.
Why? Because of what happened to Stone Cold?
It injured a lot of people. Not only
Remember
him, but
that?
a couple other people. And a couple other people too.
He was paralyzed for like 10 seconds or something like that.
He broke his neck, man.
Yo, that DDT, man.
Yo, that reverse DDT in the basement, elementary.
Yeah, reverse DDT, man. Deadly. I'm telling you. He almost got away with murder that day.
He was just like moaning, and I'm dragging him down I'm dragging him to class. Like, you know when you accidentally kill somebody, you gotta drag him home.
That's what I'm saying. He was committing a murder and didn't even know it. Like, he didn't even know it.
Yo, I was chilling too. Stone cold. Miss!
Yo. When I tell you,
he's making noises.
He's mumbling something.
And then the other one,
I think he needs some milk.
Status. Rock bottom.
I think he needs some milk.
His head hit the gym floor like the basketball.
Oh my God.
Rock bottom. He was out too. Wheelchair out. Yo, you know what's crazy? They took me to the principal. Well, not the principal, the main office. Outside the principal's office. Sit here. You gotta see the principal. All right, cool. I waited till 8th period. The bell rang. I went to my locker, got my stuff, and went home. And no, I never happened for that one. That was crazy. A good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, damn, that kid is not okay.
Yeah, nah. He's probably still not okay.
Yeah.
He's probably Beetlejuice. It's probably him now. You crushed his head. Now it's small and shit. Right.
Yeah, I used to love wrestling. I used to wrestle everybody around me. I used to
wrestle all my cousins.
Everybody around me. Let's go.
I used to wrestle everybody. When I was a trainer full time, I used to wrestle all those motherfuckers. I used to wrestle anybody.
You had a wrestling name?
Nah, man.
You had a wrestling name?
Nah. I should have came up with one. Now I think about it.
I have a wrestling name, but I remember
mine was Cosmic Killer. I have no idea where I came up with that.
Cosmic Killer is
crazy.
Cosmic
Killer.
Well, you did kill somebody.
No, yo, by accident, two bodies, just dragging them down the hall. Miss!
Yo, you should have added the fake blood or some ketchup on their head or something. Nah,
it was too real.
I remember growing up, like wrestling, like yo, man, it was so dope because like it involved all of us, you know, in the hood. You know, especially with some dudes that, you know, grew up with, and other blocks got involved in. Like one part was NWO, other part was like this and that. And one time, I remember I grew up in Yonkers and Ludlow Street, real historic area. And it was people from like Knoll Street and people from Pierce Street got involved, and we go down Knoll Street, intersection of Ludlow, going towards like Pierce Street, and we was rumbling, and it was so crazy. It was like happened like back in the 90s, of course. Might have been 6, 7 years old. Yo, we was wrestling. It was at night, so you couldn't tell. The adults got involved. There was us kids, but it was wrestling because, you know, it was Attitude Era. And yo, it was so many of us like getting involved that people thought it was a real fucking fight. It was a brawl. Like grown men came running and they thought niggas was really like jumping somebody. Yeah. And now we were like, we wrestling because they saw all the kids. I ain't gonna lie, that must have been the dopest time or era of like my livelihood of growing up. You know what I'm saying? With that happening. Cause now you do that shit.
I got another funny story. And I'm not gonna say the name. High school, play wrestling, slamming somebody on the sidewalk. It looks crazy because we're really like we're kind of little adults, so we actually are strong. So yeah, we're slamming, we're jumping this kid, but we're playing. 90% jumping him. Police come. I'm walking. I'm away from everybody. They don't even notice I'm gone.
Yeah,
my boy gets stopped. He was part of it.
Yeah.
Hey, they got him. I hear going on. I'm walking. I got away. Nobody even knows. Friend, they got us. I'm walking. I'm not even looking back. I said, nope. I'm not looking back. Yo, friend, they got us. Now I hear. Now a cop is coming after me. Oh, come down the hill. Oh man, that's the end. But that was the part that they got us. Oh my God.
6'9" you.
Oh man. Of course, 99 came of it. It was all just play fire, and nothing came of it. Nothing. But they got us. I still rub that in his face till this day. I'll never let that one go.
You should.
Never let that one go.
Me, man.
You should.
I was out. I was home. And I lived up the block.
Oh,
I was
at
home.
the time.
I was home.
Yo, we always talk about that, like walking to school, being able to walk to school is a luxury too.
Comfortably though.
Yeah.
Because you might be in walking distance,
Yeah.
but it's deep.
Yeah.
Or a hill.
Or a hill. Yeah.
I was blessed. It was like 2 blocks away, or 1 block away, kind of. I used to park in front of high school the night before, and people thought I was like driving to school. Like, you live down the block. Why are you driving here?
Yeah.
But I parked here the night before.
Yeah.
This is the best parking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
Absolutely, yo. Absolutely.
Yo, I liked wrestling so much. I even went to join the wrestling team. Yeah, man.
That's dope. How was that?
Junior high school.
How was that?
It was great. I didn't know what it was
So why'd
funny.
you stop then
My
if it was
first
great?
match, because I started caring more about money. I started working. Stop caring about sports. And my first match, I was in a t-shirt and shorts. I didn't even have a singlet yet. And the ref was like, "I got somebody your weight. You want?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" I didn't know nothing. I just slammed him and just slammed and slammed. I ended up just winning. I just I didn't know nothing. I just kept slamming and slamming. It was crazy, but it was great.
No, but that's shit. It probably got some aggression out. It probably
it
got
was great.
some stress out. Didn't even notice.
Yep, just body
Adrenaline
slamming.
going fucking retarded. Like just going crazy.
100%. Anxiety, adrenaline,
Everything.
all that.
Everything all in one.
Oh yeah.
What's the other thing boys go through? Puberty.
Puberty. He said he was slamming him through puberty.
Yo,
His voice was getting deeper as he was slamming him.
crazy. It was great.
Yo,
It was great.
that's fun, man. What's yo, like one thing, like, you know, they would never let you do, like, when we were in gym class, they would never, like, you know, do some shit like that, like have a wrestling and shit like that.
Of course not,
Because they
yeah.
know that we were gonna go hard. They
Of
already
course.
knew we were gonna go. They already knew we was gonna go WWE up in
Teenage
that motherfucker.
boys, come on.
We were gonna be jumping off the bleachers.
Somebody's bleeding.
Somebody's bleeding.
Somebody's hair's getting pulled out.
First 10 minutes, somebody's hurt. Like
Yeah. 'Cause,
somebody's
you know,
hurt.
They know as us teenagers, you know what we drive on, you know, and of course, you know, whatever's popping, you know, of course for us, you know, we watch wrestling that came on every Monday or whatever. They know we come in and do that shit, and you know, and recess, you know, that's the time we mostly have fun and we can let loose.
100%.
And 9 times out of
Recess.
10, for me, turning to play fighting and turn into real fighting, you know. So that's where they're like, no touching or grabbing, or you know,
100%.
it's true, man.
100%.
It's just, no, it's just the living moment of life that we had, man.
Yo, I was talking to somebody about this because it's like now, you know, what we had, like things like wrestling, and then after that, you know, we had the imagination to actually be physical and try to be like them. Where it's like kids and teenagers today, they won't go anywhere unless there's Wi-Fi available. Like, you know what I'm saying? They won't go anywhere, you know, and the only physical they're going to be doing is with their fingers. But, you know, back then it was just so much fun, man.
I used to ask my mom, I could bring my toys?
Yeah.
Now if they got Wi-Fi?
Yeah, now they got Wi-Fi. Before I used to be like, yo, can I bring
my ring?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
It got a handle. I'm good.
Right.
Everything folded inside.
Right.
I could bring it.
Yeah.
Now they got Wi-Fi?
Yeah. They got Wi-Fi. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Like, man. Yo, it's the truth, man. And
it is.
Yo, so I'm of course you got to be grateful for all that we had back then, like being able to play manhunt, all that type of shit. They don't do that no more. Like, you know, they don't do that no more.
We're supposed to be, as a species, we're supposed to be physical.
Mm-hmm.
These kids aren't as physical as we
and getting
used to be.
sun and things like that, like getting air, like regular oxygen, which is supposed to be. We're actually supposed to be more barefooted than anything too.
Yeah.
And we don't do any. We don't practice any of those things. Well, most people don't, at least at all. We can't speak for everybody, but most people don't practice those things.
Do more of that. This is the end of the episode. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me in this conversation.
Yes.
Talks about it with Franjez. This is the end. Peace and love.